Does Dana White have a secret deal with Colby Covington? Because I still cannot find any reason as to why Colby Covington should be getting this title shot over Gilbert Burns or Belal Muhammad, no matter who wins this weekend. We're going to talk about all of that in just a second. Before we get into the video, though, I do want to say hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with too many YouTube channels. Let's talk about Colby Covington. So, originally, when this fight got announced, everybody, of course, was like, there was a lot of debate here and there about whether or not Colby Covington deserved the title fight, but I feel like everybody was more on the side of course he doesn't deserve the title fight. He should at least, at the very least, have one more win. I personally think that he should fight Shavkat Rakhmonov, but now Kamaru Usman might be fighting him, so that's a great fight. But Colby, obviously, just does not deserve a title fight. He beat Jorge Masvidal, and that's something that, if you want to talk about, Gilbert Burns already did. But the conversation kind of like all came to a close, but I want to bring it back up now because Gilbert Burns and Belal Muhammad are now fighting each other. And this is like the biggest #1 contender fight that I could even think about. The fight's going to be 5 rounds. If you want to talk about fights being 5 rounds, like you want to talk about like Charles Oliveira versus Beneil Dariush, that's not 5 rounds. Like this is a #1 contenders fight. This means so much for the division, these two fighting each other. And both of them have done so much more than Colby Covington. This is coming from somebody who's a Colby Covington fan. I want to see nothing more than Colby Covington getting another title fight. Could you imagine that guy as champion calling everybody out? I think it would be great, but at the end of the day, like Gilbert Burns has done so much, and Belal Muhammad's done a lot too. I'm just become like a really big fan of Gilbert Burns over the years because the dude's a true BMF. You know what I mean? You want to talk about BMF? That's Gilbert Burns. I am at the point where Gilbert Burns could go up against like my favorite fighter and I would cheer for him because of all the work that he's done. He's been so consistent, taking fights against the toughest guys, coming in there, like just saying yes to the UFC at every single turn. I don't care who Gilbert Burns goes up against. I will be cheering for him. Even if it's against my favorite fighter, I want that dude to get back to the title. He deserves it. Same with Belal Muhammad. And whoever wins this fight, undeniably deserves the next title fight. Honestly, you could argue that both of them deserve a title fight right now. But these guys, again, and if you want to talk about even Belal Muhammad, he might not even be in shape, and he's taking a 5-round fight to save a card to get a #1 contenders fight. He against Gilbert Burns, the dude who's been insanely active, and we already know who's in shape. So it's awesome for both of them to do. And I think like both guys taking a risk like this when they already deserve a title fight, I believe that they should get a title fight. And I don't know if you guys like, nobody would really disagree with that, right? This is the next title contender, whoever wins this fight. But for some reason, Dana White is still adamant on Colby Covington getting the next title fight. Oh, does he? He's got to have some deal, right? Like this, because I can't wrap my head around it. Why would Colby Covington be getting a title fight? Does he have dirt somebody on the UFC? Like they have to have some deal, but I can't think about like what that deal would be. Unless like, man, you want to talk about like when he showed up as the backup fighter for Kamaru Usman, maybe there was a fight there that was like being dangerously close to like one of them canceling, probably Usman, if I had to guess, like one of the two because Leon looked healthy. Well, I guess they both kind of looked healthy, but you know what I mean. There's something might have happened. This is the only way I can like even just understand it. One of those fighters were dangerously close to pulling out. There was a really bad medical problem, maybe on the side of Kamaru Usman because he didn't look the best in that fight. You know what I mean? They called Colby Covington and he saved the card. Maybe they had actual intent from the fight, but he didn't end up fighting. And they said, hey, you know what? We'll give you the next title fight no matter what. Maybe. That's the only way I can even think about this deal like being a thing. But even if, like, I'm a little bit surprised, like, that they're so really like, no, Colby Covington deserves it. Colby Covington deserves it no matter what. I just can't wrap my head around it. That's the only way that I could think about Colby Covington, like, having a secret deal with the UFC. Like, because I can't think about anything else. What else would Dana White and Colby, like, be like this for Dana? And they've had, like, a little bit of a rocky history. I know Colby Covington nowadays is like, hey, I'm a company man, whatever the UFC wants. But he wasn't always like that. Him and Dana were, like, bashing heads constantly. And Colby Covington was trashing the UFC at one point. So I don't know if they made up or, well, they must have made up, but still, like, I can't wrap my head around him. Please, this is where I'll leave it up to you guys because I want to know, is there some secret deal with Colby Covington and Dana White? There's got to be, right? There's got to be because Gilbert Burns and Belal Muhammad, whoever wins this fight, deserves the next title fight. If Colby Covington fights before them, man, they need to sit out. They need to sit out and wait for their shot because it is more than deserved, both of them, whoever ends up winning that fight. And it's sad that one of them has to lose this fight. But let me know what you guys think down below, why Colby Covington is still getting the next title shot against Leon Edwards. Let me know what you think down below. Thank you so much for watching. On the screen right now, you'll have 2 other fantastic MMA videos. Check them out. They're great videos. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.